Good evening, everybody. I'm Fictional Crystals, and the cluster is returning. The cluster was once a huge part of Steven Universe. All the way from Season 1's final to Season 3's opening, the cluster was lingering in the background. But we're not done with it yet. The way the cluster arc got resolved in Season 3 felt kind of rushed. There had been such a long build up to it. But then the problem got fixed by simply bubbling it. Putting things in bubbles is useful, but it's not a good long-term solution. Bubbles can easily be popped whether on purpose or by accident. If Homeworld found out that the cluster is bubbled, with the kind of tech they got, they could simply go in and bubble it. The diamonds are starting to bring up the cluster again. They know the cluster should have emerged by now, but as far as they know, it hasn't tried forming yet. Yellow Diamond's been asking about the cluster. She's getting suspicious. The cluster is meant to have emerged by now, but it hasn't. And she just found out that the crystal gems and their supposed leader Rose Quartz are still on Earth. Steven, who she thinks is Rose, has been causing her trouble. Yellow Diamond doesn't know what Rose has been doing to her plans on Earth, but she knows for certain that Rose has always been meddling with Earth affairs. Sooner or later, Yellow Diamond is going to come to Earth, and eventually she'll find out what's happened to the cluster. The show's been lightly hinting at the cluster's return to the limelight. Blue Diamond has brought it up as well.
There's a geo-weapon incubating in your planet that will destroy everything.
When Jasper was collecting corrupted gems, there was a gem mutant caged in like the corrupted gems. This was one of the experiments for the cluster, forced gem shard fusion prototypes.
These are the early attempts at artificial fusion.
The cluster is a big version of this. It's a giant gem shard forced fusion. The cluster's prototypes are found in an underground area of the Prime Kindergarten. Now here's the interesting thing. At San Diego Comic-Con this year, we got a new trailer for Steven Universe Season 5. This trailer showed kindergartens several times, particularly the Prime Kindergarten where the forced fusion experiments were. At one point in the trailer, the whole Prime Kindergarten was shaking. It was like an earthquake. Last time there was an earthquake on Steven Universe, the cluster was emerging. Could it be happening again? Could the cluster be re-emerging? Which is why everything's shaking. They are in the place of the cluster experiment's origins. I really don't think we've seen the last of the cluster. Bubbling it was only a temporary solution thought of on the spot. The diamonds are still waiting for it to emerge. And you saw that shaking in the trailer. Plus, there's no such thing as a one-off Steven Universe character. No character, big or small, is in just one episode. The cluster has technically only appeared in one episode, not counting the times it's been mentioned. And it's technically a character too, or rather millions of characters. It's bound to eventually return in another episode. So it's only a matter of time before the cluster comes back into focus. When it does, do you think it will look like it does in the Steven Universe Art and Origins book? Tell me in the comments below. But anyway, thanks for watching, cause that will be all.
Sapphire, has the cluster emerged yet?
No, it has not.
Then there's still time. That will be all.